And Senator, you've been in this position in these seats trying to question a nominee who's reluctant to answer questions and who's been coached, quite frankly. I mean, people are going, she's doing it without notes. Yeah, you don't need notes to say, I don't know. I don't have a thought on that.
I can't answer that.
For you, one of, I think, yeah. Are you Senator Al Franken? I can't answer that, right? So here is what I thought was one of the more egregious moments, because this wasn't a question about the law. This was a question about her own past statements. Here is Senator Leahy asking, Pat Leahy, who you know well, asking Amy Coney Barrett about her former statement saying that she shouldn't even be in this position, that this, far into an election, you shouldn't replace somebody and make a non-lateral move on the court. Here it is.
Would you say that replacing Justice Ginsburg by yourself is not a lateral move like you urged when you supported the blocking of President Obama's nominee, Judge Garland?
Senator Leahy, I want to be very clear. I think that's not quite what I said in the interview. This was a decision that was the political branches to make. And I didn't say which way they should go. I simply said it was the Senate's call. I didn't advocate or publicly support the blockade of Judge Garland's nomination, as you're suggesting.
Okay, so here's Amy Coney Barrett not doing that on February 15, 20. Yeah, here she is, February 15, 2016. Here she is.
We're talking about Justice Scalia, the staunchest conservative on the court, and we're talking about him being replaced by someone who could dramatically flip the balance of power on the court. It's not a lateral move.
Yeah,
your witness,
and that was
Senator.
After a long windup. And where she said, well, when Justice Kennedy was confirmed in an election year, that was, he had been nominated in November, and that was, Powell resigned in June. So this is very different because now with Garland, why the primaries have started, and there's people have voted in the primaries. The hypocrisy here is crazy. I mean, that's what was before this. And then she did exactly this, which she says, and also Kennedy replaced Powell, who was a moderate conservative, but since Antonin Scalia just died, he's a real conservative, an arch conservative, and whoever Obama nominates will be. It'll tilt the court. It'll change the balance of the court. Well, of course, Roberts cast the deciding vote in every 5-4 decision that went the liberals' way in this last term. So obviously, this whole thing is so hypocritical. It's amazing.
Does it surprise you? I mean, look, there's
no.
A lot of people believe the only reason we have the Affordable Care Act is that you had to fight for your Senate seat in court all the way through the summer of 2009. A lot of people forget Democrats didn't come in with 60 votes. They had to claw their way to 60 votes, partly through your seat, which finally gave them a break. And then, of course, Senator Kennedy died. There was a lot of personnel change that made it possible to make the Affordable Care Act, to cause it to be passed. Republicans have fought it every day since then, have wanted to get rid of it every day since then. Does it surprise you that they're willing to even do this, steal a Supreme Court seat in order to get rid of it?
Well, no, because they're huge hypocrites. The Federalists, they're asking her these questions. It's really a kabuki dance. It's really a puppet show, as Sheldon Whitehouse said today, because there's no surprises here. As Claire McCaskill just said, she was on the short list from the Federalist Society. You know what? Leonard Leo said about Gorsuch, and there's no surprises, meaning there's not going to be a suitor. There's not going to be a Justice Souter who surprises us. The Federalist Society, she says, I didn't talk to the president about this. You don't think she talked to the Federalist Society about this? Of course she did. They vet everyone. And he said, I will only appoint people who are on the Federalist Society shortlist. You think she might have talked to the Federalist Society people who may then have talked to the president? My goodness, this is just shameful. Of course we know she, if the president had asked her, would you overturn Roe v. Wade? Would you overturn the ACA? She'd go, Mr. President, that's inappropriate, but might I point out to you who sent me?
Exactly. Okay, let's play. This is another clip. This is Dianne Feinstein questioning Amy Coney Barrett. And this was about whether or not, this one should have been a layup. This was an easy one, about whether the president of the United States can unilaterally delay the election. I'm not a lawyer, but I know he can't. Let's see if Ms. Coney Barrett knows that. Here she is.
Does the Constitution give the President of the United States the authority to unilaterally delay a general election under any circumstances? Does federal law?
Well, Senator, if that question ever came before me, I would need to hear arguments from the litigants and read briefs and consult with my law clerks and talk to my colleagues and go through the opinion writing process. I think we want judges to approach cases thoughtfully and with an open mind.
Your witness.
If the president declared martial law on November 2nd, well, I can't answer that. This is ridiculous. Also, you know what? She said it would be improper for her to recuse herself from deciding the election. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be improper at all. And she said, well, I have to consult with everybody. It's the justice's decision. But wouldn't it be, wouldn't you feel a little better if she said, yeah, I recuse myself, obviously. But she's not going to do it. And but this
not going to happen.
You know
really
what?
Quick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that what I hope is that there's a political price if they, they're going to do this.
Yeah.
What I hope is that the voters in North Carolina and in South Carolina and in Texas and in Iowa, they know what's happening. It's very obvious what's happening. And I hope that all of them pay a real price at election.
Absolutely. And I want to give